Welcome back to our channel. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, your time. Thank you guys for your continued support. Please subscribe to our channel if you haven't and turn on the bell for more video. Welcome our new members, to the old ones. God bless you. If you're passing by, please join us. As you're supporting us in this channel, may the Lord support you in everything you lay your hands. Amen. To the news in details. Guys, the video you're about to watch is Dele Mahmood. He talks about insecurity in Nigeria, why some people are treated more better than the others, and why the Fulani bandits, why they believe they're untouchable. Guys, you would not want to miss this. Do us a favor by subscribing and turning on your bell. And do not forget to share and like. Let us know your thoughts in the section below. Please watch.
The first one I got was we are still loyal to Buhari, won't topple government. And this is coming from members of the armed forces. I find that very disturbing. I don't think any right-thinking Nigerian will be thinking or plotting to overthrow a democratically elected government. If there are such people, I believe they should be fished out. And when the military begins to talk like that, that is very disturbing. 2, the military should not be loyal to Buhari, they should be loyal to Nigeria. So I think whoever granted that statement should please correct it. The loyalty of every public servant, be it military or civilian, is to the country. Baba Buhari was voted for by some Nigerians, and so be it. So we will live with the repercussions. But for anybody to now say they are loyal to Buhari, no. It's Buhari that should be loyal to Nigeria, and he should do what is right for Nigeria. It's unfortunate what our country has become. I've read all kinds of security issues, people saying Nigeria needs help from outside Nigeria. Nigeria does not need any help as far as I'm concerned. The only help Nigeria needs is Buhari himself. If today Buhari will do the following, and mercifully, I saw a video, I don't know when that press statement was made by Governor Ganduje of Kano State, but it made a lot of sense in the video. Governor Ganduje said, though he is a Fulani man, that one of his recommendations is that the movement of cattle from the north to the south should be stopped forthwith. I agree absolutely. That's one of my own recommendations as well. The problem that I see is that the president feels that his people are involved, the Fulani people are from the same ethnic group as the president, and he feels obliged to protect them. But you cannot protect one ethnic group above other ethnic groups. People are suffering, people are being kidnapped every day, people are being raped, people are being mercilessly massacred. So my advice to Mr. President is that the time has come for you to forget about where you come from and act based on the oath you swore to the Constitution of Nigeria. The allegiance of Mr. President and Commander-in-Chief is to the Constitution of Nigeria and not to any ethnic group. A president should be the father of the nation, and Mr. President should work henceforth for every citizen of Nigeria. He should protect every inch of Nigeria. Nobody, no foreigner should be allowed to stroll through the porous borders of Nigeria just because he's a Fulani man. That is the problem that we have. The problem has nothing to do with nothing other than the fact that the body language of the president suggests that the Fulanis are being deliberately protected. The day the bandits themselves, the cattle rearers or whatever they are, realize that the president will not protect them, trust me, they will stop all this rascality. That's that. As for the rehabilitation of repentant bandits, I don't see what is wrong with it. As a matter of fact, I believe one of the mistakes the president made is that in the last 6 years, he has not deemed it fit to equip his people. These guys, most of them are suffering from ignorance and from poverty. Both are deadly diseases, ignorance and poverty. So what the president should have done, if I were in his shoes, is I would have started immediately the process of educating these people and getting them engaged. So the president, who himself owns cattle, should have made sure that the states where the Fulanis inhabit in the north, they should have built settlements for them. They should have built their cattle ranches in those states. You cannot force other parts of Nigeria to accept cattle rearing, especially the traditional type of roaming through the forest like demons. No, the president in the last 6 years, if he was serious, he would have banned cattle wanderers from moving from north to south. If the north does not mind it, no problem. Then they can keep them. They are kith and kin, so they can keep them. But he failed to do that. Even President Jonathan, who is not a Fulani man, when he was president, he started Almajiri schools, and if they had expanded on the Almajiri schools, vocational schools and all that, by now a lot of these young people would have been taken off the forest. That is very important. So for as long as cattle can roam freely from the north to the south, there will be no end in sight. So for those who are saying we need help, the help we need is Buhari himself. President Buhari should make up his mind and stop the wanderers. The governors cannot stop them because the governors don't control. Everything is controlled from the federal. So when people try to blame the governors, they are being clever by half. I blame the governors for being very docile. Speak up. Speak up. If all of them spoke up, and instead of treating the president as if he is jelly, when Jonathan was there, everybody was attacking him every day, including our president Buhari. They were all attacking him. It was their punch bag. They were punching him left, right, and center. Okay? President Jonathan was punched black and blue by everybody. Today, everybody is treating Buhari like egg. Nobody wants to talk to him. But I repeat, he is not God. He is the president of Nigeria. So treat him as a president, respect him as president, but don't equate him to God. People must tell him the truth. When tomorrow comes, the man will say he didn't know. When tomorrow comes, all of us will be guilty of not talking. People should talk and let him know. If he doesn't accept, that is fine. But we must advise him. Those who love him are the ones who are advising him. Okay? I am shocked that security forces are threatening those who are criticizing Buhari. So if you cannot threaten those who are in the forest, People have been going to the forest to hold meetings with these guys. If you cannot threaten those ones, and you are threatening those who have no guns, who have no weapons, the only weapon they have is their mouth and possibly our pen or our laptops or our telephones. That's all we have. Nobody is fighting Buhari. All we're asking him to do is to do something and do it quickly about the general insecurity in Nigeria. Because one of the reasons people voted for him was that they trusted him as a retired military general, that he would have better solution to the problems of Nigeria. So to be threatening innocent people who all they are doing is to talk and to advise the government, I think is very unfortunate. We're not in a military regime, and people cannot take away the rights of the people from talking. So it's like if somebody invades your house, points a gun at your head, and they are saying you should not cry. Someone is beating you with koboko, and they are saying you should not cry. Chief Abiola used to tell us that it would be unfair for you to beat a child and tell that child not to cry. A baby will cry if the baby is uncomfortable. Nigerians today are uncomfortable. Whether you are military, you are a pastor, that's why everybody is talking. So how many people are you going to put in jail or in detention for talking about Buhari? It is not a crime to say that Buhari is not performing. The general insecurity in Nigeria today is unprecedented, and people must cry out. If they don't cry out, the government may even assume that everything is okay. Nothing is okay. So this is not a fight. People are crying. If things were okay, all of us would be mad to be talking. All of us would be mad to be complaining. People are complaining because things have gone out of control. This is not the Nigeria of our dream, and this is not the Nigeria that Buhari promised in 2015 and 2019. So please stop threatening innocent Nigerians as if they have no right to talk. They have every right to talk, because Buhari, even God, people complain sometimes, God, what have I done to deserve this? People talk to God. People challenge God. So why can't they challenge their president? Why can't they encourage and advise their president to do what is right? Why can't they tell their president to say, stop protecting these people? Don't say because they are Fulanis, so they should be untouchable. The reason why this thing has remained the way it is because some people feel they are untouchable. That's all. That's all. I have never seen this kind of thing in my life. That's that. Again, the president should engage during the campaigns. The president found the energy, the stamina, and everything to travel around Nigeria. He went to every part of Nigeria, reaching out to people, pleading for their votes, and assuring them of a better tomorrow. So now that it has become a mirage. It is unfortunate that we don't see the president. He does not go anywhere. He does not engage the people. He does not empathize. He does not sympathize. He does not condole. He does not do anything to reassure them that something is being done about the plight of Nigerians. That is why people are complaining. Nobody hates Buhari. I don't hate Buhari. I don't have anything against Buhari. Every day anybody who follows me will see I promote his work. He receives his visitors in Aso Rock daily. I promote it. I use the pictures. If I hated him, I would have blanked him out. I want him to succeed, because if he succeeds, then my country will succeed and I will succeed. But today, everybody is at this dangerous crossroads. We don't know what will happen tomorrow. People are crying. People are dying. I saw the picture of a student today who was said to have been released after his parents paid 20 million to bandits. Abba! As they say in Yoruba, ní ìlú tó lọ́ba tó ní ìjòyè. In a country that has presidents, that has kings, that has chiefs, that has, all kinds of human beings. And yet, we're watching our country drift aimlessly towards total complete destruction. And some people are saying we should not talk. We must talk. I'm happy all the pastors are talking. Thank you. Pastor Paul Adefarasi, thank you. Pastor Itu Agudalo, thank you. All the pastors who are speaking, I cannot mention you all. Everybody must come out and talk. In the days of tribulations, people must talk. Everybody remembers Martin Luther King, we remember Malcolm X. America did not get to where it is today because some people kept quiet. No. America is where it is today because some people stood up and they spoke up and they spoke truth to power. Of course, as they say, truth is always very bitter. Yes, but if the government does not want anybody to talk about it, to complain about it, then government should visibly rise up to its responsibilities. It is very important. So let government stop blackmailing people. I've been reading the vituperations from the media aides of the president. Some people are trying to throw Nigeria into chaos. Nigeria is already in chaos. I don't think anybody is planning anything. They know where the bandits are. They've said it many times. Even the president himself said it, that some of these people are foreigners. So then why are you protecting the foreigners? Why can't you fish them out? The Nigerian army is one of the strongest on the continent of Africa. I can attest to that. I used to visit them many years ago, nearly 2 decades ago, in Liberia, in Sierra Leone, and they were among the best. So what has happened to them? Why are we not empowering them by making sure first that the body language of the people at the top reassures them that there will be no sacred cows? The problem in Nigeria today is that there are sacred cows, and until we stop those sacred cows, our security forces will labor in vain.